cut.
Nah,
So
you shouldn't cut.
think of it like you do not have to be perfect. It's a conversation.
Yeah, you just be like,
it shouldn't be perfect. Dog.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel you. Okay.
Because it's not TV.
Ungapretending ngathi gas lakho baflow akaso isiphithiphithi must keep it heat isehlanya bo smoke and I'm such Jimmy ungamangali sifuba maso my workout plan is to lift their spirits and carry their hopes.
Sanibonani bafethu absheni dumelang. I wish I knew even more languages. Anyway, welcome to Touchline Timeless Conversations, a freestyle tape compiled by me, and today I'd like to introduce you to, well, someone that you know very well. If I'm introducing anyone, introducing myself. But I'd like us to go through like the timeline of the different freestyles and when they were dropped, what was actually happening in Pilweni Yagataj, you know what I mean? The entendres, the writing. I find it impeccable, you know. I've had the privilege to be around whenever I was experiencing different things in his life and whatnot. So I felt it was very necessary to compile the whole project and give it to Abantu, you know, as a compilation. Me for first, I would definitely love to find it easy when I go to the internet. But anyway, without further ado, Tabo Touchline Mahlwele.
Shakespear.
Oh yeah, but thank you for joining me for this conversation. I've been hounding you about it, but nowadays, Pela so busy.
I mean, if I'm busy, you busy, you know. So
yeah,
that's the crazy thing. But yeah.
Aware, man. You know, I'd just like to give this project like a significance, you know, as we had spoken earlier on. I feel like you've been experiencing like a lot of things, and when you listen to my freestyle wako, like they actually talk about like reality of what was actually happening in your life. You didn't have to thumbsuck a story or whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
So hopefully I got my dates right, but like I think on the project, the first freestyle that was in 2016 called 16 Flow, you know?
Yeah.
Where were you when you were writing this? What was happening in your life? You know, like what's your favorite quote? But we'll go through that. Just let us know.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that, bro. Recorded it right here, dog.
Yeah.
What's that? That's like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
2016. What was that? 7 years ago? Yeah, it was, no?
Yeah.
That's a long time ago, man. Yeah, Kumbula Mfit. It was like, I think it was like the 5th of January. I was hounding you like just for studio time because the year had started. I had written this dope ass thing. You know, I remember I wrote it in my dad's car. Midnight, vele, when the year was kicking in. 1st of Jan. And I was in my dad's car. And we were actually the save view. So, uno monumentis or amoplo view. And I was in the car. And you know, Victor, when you're just so hungry, dog, and the only thing you can think about is this thing that you're doing, right? This rap thing. And at the time, yeah, Kumbula Vele, we're crossing over, and everybody's celebrating 10, 9, 8. And I'm like, nah, I don't really care about all that. I'm in the car, bro, I'm writing. I hope you up your bars this year. I hope you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was
like midnight.
Yeah, midnight.
Like New Year's Eve, May 31st.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember I was writing that, bro. You know, the next day I think I was done. Or maybe I finished it like maybe 2 days later because it was a long freestyle. But, and on the 5th, I remember it was the 5th, bro. And I was like hounding you from the 2nd of Jan. I was like, Shakes, do you? Like, nah, not today. You know you got your New Year's things. Like, yeah, I still want to fix in. Alright, so faded. I pull up on the 5th of Jan, bro, and we did it, if I'm not mistaken. You know, and we did it, and I remember, bro, that was like a very important one because I think that's the first time people really heard me rap, like really, like, yo, this guy knows what he's doing now, you know. I think a lot of times people would hear it, they'd hear like, I mean, the potential, but there on 16 Flow, I think it became more together, you know, more polished, you know. And also it wasn't to be polished forever because I realized that I needed to do a lot more work after that to polish even further. But at that point, I think a lot of people realized, good, okay, cool. This guy is actually, he's a problem.
Interesting, man. As you're saying this, I wanted to actually obviously go about in with a chronically chronological order. You know when I start doing those things. But I actually want to skip to AOC, Actions Over Captions, because kulo nyaka baba siningi muntu, you know. I hope you up your bars this year, you know. And I'm finding similarities. And when you did a 16 flow, I started becoming keen on you dropping a freestyle every year, because it's almost like you manifest your year and it's like a statement, you know what I mean? So when you contrast where you were at in 2016 when you were dropping that versus Actions Over Caption, now what is the contrast? What is the difference? Where are you in 2016 versus where are you in 2022? You know what I mean?
I mean, I was in a similar place, you know. Maybe not financially, maybe not even location-wise. I had moved, you know. Maybe I wasn't in the same place, but I was in a very similar place in terms of mentally being hungry again, you know. I remember when I did 16 Flow. So 16 Flow, we later on put it on a compilation called Soon, the first Soon.
Yeah.
Right, and maybe the third song on Soon. I'm not sure, but you see, it was crucial for it to be a part of Soon because it was just a compilation of the freestyles, of some of the freestyles we had done at that time. Fast forward 2022, and I decided to do Soon 2. The reason I called it Soon 2 is because I was in the same place as I was at, you know, when I was doing Soon 1, in terms of just my mentality, just the relentlessness, just the, you know, being unforgiving and just like working hard. And, you know, I came into the game and I didn't really understand my place or my position in the game. It was very difficult for me to come to grips with, you know, get to grips with like a whole lot of stuff and how they were happening. So it was very similar, man. Actions Over Captions. Now that the difference is that Actions Over Captions was dropped a year after it was done, but it was also recorded. It was the first song I recorded in 2021.
Yeah.
So we dropped it 2022.
Right.
Part of Soon 2, yeah. Well, so the mind frame or mind state was not really very different. You know, 2016 and 2022. You know, it was really, really like full circle. It's like I'm back in that zone where I'm like, I'm coming for everything and I'm excited to rap again, to talk my things, you know? Talk my things, bro, and I enjoyed it, yeah.
No problem, man. And how people received it, from at least the piece that I saw, there was a very big similarity between 16 Flow and Actions Over Captions, you know what I mean?
Just the magnitude was different, like
yes,
the scale was different now.
Yes, you know, like you have a bigger reach now, you know what I mean? Okay, rewind back, now I think you released Cool Gut, you know? And there was obviously like, there's a certain incident that had happened at that time, but like what made you decide to, you know, I want to actually write about this and, you know, have bars and something to say?
Yeah, damn, I don't even know if Malum Cook had ever heard that Shandy's, but it was like, you know, I think I also caught like some slack because of whatever had happened, which I'm not really privy to like that, you know. But like my whole thing was just like, I was just rapping about somebody that was inspiring a whole wave, a whole culture, you get what I'm saying? I was just saying like, you know, yo, free the boy, like he's killing shit, you know? And we're enjoying what he's doing. I'm young at the time, you know, so I'm not thinking about the social ramifications of everything, you know? I'm just like, I'm rapping, bro. Nintwana also, you know, so the thinking is not about... Plus, cancel culture is not popping at that time like that. You know, you don't move with fear, with the fear of being called out, or you know what I'm saying? Like you do now. Now you think, 20 times before you even say, yo, I like that guy. Like, you like that guy? You know, or I like that girl. You know what she said? You know, and it's like, now everybody, there's always beef, you know?
Now you're supposed to separate the art from... you know, umuntu themselves. Social media yenza kube into one.
Yeah. It's like you can't bump R. Kelly. Well, you can bump. I mean, we can bump it, but don't let the people on Twitter catch us bumping him. We'll be bumping him. We're not going to be thinking about all that. And I'm in no way comparing R. Kelly, no cool God. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. I'm just saying the same kind of like thinking. You know, where people are just like, also people they just like to, people will just deem you guilty. They don't really care, right? And they say it online, but like offline, they bumping, dog. Trust me.
Sure. The interesting part that you talk about Cool Cat, which is you can correct me, sounds a little controversial, but like not really. You know what I mean? Release him. At least he was. You speak about the culture and how much he impacted the culture and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, he's still being jocked, type of thing.
Yeah.
I want you to touch on that.
I mean, even the late great Keenan said it. You know, got your own stuff from Malunko Cat. It felt like that, right? Like, you know how like there was a Kid X and you heard like a lot of people rapping like Kid X, but maybe he didn't get the credit he deserved. I felt like Cool Cat was the same way. Like you could hear a lot of people were not trying to be like him, but they were being him. You know, they would take so many elements. You know, and the thing about him is like he's so effortless because it's him, right? He wasn't trying to follow anything that anybody else was doing. He's just like so unique. So when a person's that unique, bro, Tina's gonna go unique like that. So for go over something, so we can become standouts. Also, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I mean, at the time, I want about buy him to be otherwise you're not gonna be popping like that.
I hear you. And then we come to Controller Freestyle. Controller was associated with like, you know, that soccer touch and your ability to write, more like the skill and whatnot, and you're playing around with it. Any heavy memories on that? When you listen to it now, I mean, like you said, it's 7 years later. When you listen to it now, what still resonates with you?
I mean, Controller, I remember I did 2 versions. The first version I was basically trying to sing like Drake there on, you know, that freestyle. But the second version I remember I was like, no man, I need to just bar up, you know? That's how it can be a different cover. It was fun, you know? I had some nice lines that I enjoyed there. And the final flow, I think, one of the flows that I did there that I felt like I had invented, you know, it's like, it was very unique. I felt like, okay, cool, I've never heard this before, you know? So that was fun, bro. It also had like a few dope bars, you know, like just like classic touchline wordplay. Like when I say, and you're a mixture of Kim K and Sinclair, I can take you from Northwest to Cairo. Yeah, I really enjoyed that
line
bar.
is still strong even till this day.
Till today, right? Because, I mean, you're playing on, like, famous mothers who, you know, basically were involved with, like... Because for me, AKA was, like, the Kanye West of Mzansi, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, you know, you had Zinke, Kim K. And basically both their kids were, like, named after places, in a sense.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Northwest.
You know? But the play on words is that I'm telling your mommy that I can take her from South Africa to Egypt. You know, which was cap at the time because I couldn't even get to Durban, you know.
Alright, shout out, and then we're on to 2018 now. You know, the first one that's coming to mind, the Don't Try Me, and you were at like a certain record label. You know what I mean? And where were you emotionally? You know what I mean? Because Don't Try Me really sounds like you had something heavy to really release. You know, Migos, boom. You know what I mean? Like there was like what do you keep and like so a little bit of madness. You know, emotionally, where were you?
My music touches you in places where your hands can't reach. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the bars, but I remember that was the opening bar. Where I was like, every verse is like Civis Day, just casualties.
Sure.
I remember that. It's like, okay, cool. You know?
It's actually a dopest bar.
You know, but that line, that verse had like a lot of like dope moments, you know? I enjoyed writing that. I wrote it on a Saturday night. And I think on Monday, I was doing that thing of mine, you know, where like I write something today, then in 2 days like sing it, or tomorrow I shoot that, you know.
Sure.
But like, I remember Don't Try Me. I mean, there's nothing deep about Don't Try Me, you know. It was just raps, and I think Questa told me that's the first video he saw of mine, you know. So these freestyles were like, they were crucial in terms of you'd put them online and you just didn't know who was gonna find them, you know, and that was a big part of my come up, man. Ukshai freestyle, and then it just generates its own kind of traction. Sometimes it goes off immediately, and sometimes it takes a little longer. Sometimes it doesn't even blow up at all. But what would happen is that somebody would see it, somebody important, and like, yo, you know. And my theory is that when it comes to marketing, for people to really want to know you or to feel the need to engage with you, they have to see you 3 times, right? If I see you now on social media, okay, cool, this guy, okay, I can move on, right? Then if I go home and I switch on the TV and I see you again, now you're just like a person. Now you're a person that I remember. Oh yeah, oh that guy.
Sure.
Cool. But I'm still not engaging. You know, I'm still like, oh okay, cool, that guy. The moment I see you the 3rd time, and it'll be better if it's like in close proximity in terms of time wise. Then I feel like, why am I seeing this person so much? Yeah, why not?
There's familiarity.
Yeah. Like why am I? Hey, follow. That's how it is.
Just the art of marketing.
Yeah, people won't always follow you the first time they see you. They need to be reinforced that you're somebody that's serious about what they're doing. Because if you're serious about what you're doing, then you are gonna pop up, you know, a lot. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Let me give this guy a chance. Let me hear what he's on about. And that's how I gained this fan base of mine. You know, kept on feeding them.
I was about to actually ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you say your freestyle? How much of a role did your freestyle play in your come up on a scale of 1 to 10?
8.
8, nah.
Yeah. Let me say 7, because I think the other songs that weren't freestyles, also they just took us to the next level. But the freestyles were so crucial, man, in terms of people hearing us for the first time and believing, yo, this guy can rap. Without the freestyles, there would be no Touchline, you know, which I think is also why it's dope that you thought of this idea of bringing them back. But very important, dog. I want my freestyle, you know, and just the ease, man, or like just the lack of pressure that is on you when you do a freestyle. You don't really care. You don't even care if it's mixed right. It's just like, I'm just rapping, you feel me? And that allowed me to do stuff instantly. I could record a freestyle today and drop it today. You know what I'm saying? Whereas a song, you can't really do a song like that. The only song I ever remember doing like that was the South African Christmas. You know?
That was quite quick, actually.
Yeah. You know?
Like what, 2 days before?
It was a night before Christmas.
Night before Christmas.
Yeah. Technically it was 2, but because I started working on it at midnight when I started writing. I remember I was taking a nap here. I was like, Ish, you know what? Damn it, let me just do this song, bro. Because I thought to myself that I don't want to do it anymore. You know? I was tired, I felt very fatigued, and I hadn't started writing the idea yet. I thought, which I wanted to do something for Christmas, but I didn't even have the opening line. Then I remember thinking, you know what? I drove all the way from home. Let me just do the damn thing. And that's when I came through and I was like, you know, because I was clapping Busi from Pura and Kill a Cow for Kill a Cow. You know? And then I remember after the 8th bar, I remember going to, I think I opened the door here. I was like, to Zolile. I was like, it's over. That's because I knew when you in a bag, you can feel it. When you know which the rhymes now, they're just sliding, you know, and then the subject matter is so together, but the rhyme scheme is complementing it, and you are so comfortable on beat, you know when you're not gonna mess it up.
You can just feel it when something is working.
Yeah. So after 8 bars, I remember. Yeah, I went there. I was like, boy, it's done. I finished the rest of the song because I knew, so like how Pep was yesterday. If you're watching like the Champions League semi-final with Real Madrid and Man City, I remember when Man City missed their first chance. Pep is a perfectionist. He wasn't complaining. He was there just riling up the crowd. And I'm like, okay, cool. Then when they scored the first goal, he was so happy like he had already won. Then I was like, hey, you see now, Pep has already won this game. Because normally you'd be excited, but you've got the anxiety of Guti, but manje, we need to calm down. But you know what? When you know Guti, everything is gliding. Pep knew, like yesterday, Guti, it's my time now. Like my boys are not gonna mess this up. And then they end up winning 4-0. It's like every goal he celebrates like when we've won the game, and he celebrated the first goal like that. So even from a writing perspective, you know when the song's gonna do well. Even now I know which songs that I'm gonna drop. I know which ones are gonna capture people immediately, and I know which ones maybe need to grow on people. But I know from a lyrical perspective, I've done it so long that I know Uti. I want
That's incredible, man. I'm also, as you talk about, I'm also thinking about like how you always manifest these things. We always talk about this, like how you always manifest things, because the things that you actually write about, you've literally seen happen. Like they happened almost plus minus in like 9 months to like 12 months, like a year plus minus. So I feel like there's also like another side into music, which is like pretty much innate. So as you are writing this first line and you believe, Uti, this thing is actually gonna work, I think it's mostly on your belief system, as you are saying, Pepe. He believed that he won that match. And that belief system manifested and made sure Uti, he wins the match, what I mean?
Okay, I see that. But then can I ask, then why don't they believe it all the time? Why don't we believe it all the time? Like why did I have to strike that chord in order to be like, yeah, this is gonna be the one?
I mean, self-doubt is like a very human thing, you know what I mean? And self-doubt, unfortunately, the universe does not listen to it does not think what's ideal for you. It just takes how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and what you are saying. So immediately when you have self-doubt, your future, your results, whichever path that, I'm talking scientifically and, spiritually type of thing, whichever path, you're alternating your path as life is happening. You know what I mean? Yeah. So whatever you're thinking, like right now, if you think you're going to be late for your next meeting, chances are that's what's going to happen. And if you think you're not going to be late for your next meeting, chances are that's what's going to happen. And not because your car's going to be fast.
Is that how you operate, like being late?
Yeah, I honestly don't know what happens in my brain, bro. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, God.
Shake's always late, bro. And I wonder, like, maybe he's been manifesting too much there. I'm not going to be late.
I think I finesse myself because ironically for someone that is late often, I'm actually very impatient. I hate waiting for someone, that's the super unfair thing about me. I think I manifest, I play myself somehow. I'm like, I want to be there just on time. And life does not work like that. You know what I mean? Certain things are going to come up in whatever the case, man. But just back into it, I don't think we're going to discuss each and every single freestyle, but I'd like to discuss like the important ones. Nakona is very subjective, Mangiti, important ones, because they all marked a certain era in your career type of thing. But the one I would even argue it was the most impactful, and ironically not even on social media or numbers, but like on shows, Juicy Freestyle, you utilize it changes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What, I don't even want to ask a specific question, like what's your take on changes in general?
And Changes is probably the best song I've ever made, because obviously started as Juicy Freestyle. where I jumped on a BIG beat, Juicy, right? And I basically did the whole sending Sham Tana Zungan, special fast two slang, Kisumama, Jelanga Latimo Besupum, Yam. Cool. That was on the Juicy beat, you know. And then I just decided, and people liked it on the Soon project, you know. But then yeah, I decided which I'm gonna strip it down and I'm gonna put it on the Pac instrumental. Then Munare came through, you know, played changes, and literally I can't perform a set without doing that song because it's just the perfect way of ending my shows, you know. I don't know how long that's gonna go on for, but people love it. You know what I'm saying? People love it. So it's one of the most important songs that I've ever written because it's so important, it's so crucial for a Touchline set, you know. You don't just make music just for it to stay in studio, bro. When you get to perform it, and you're on stage and you seeing what like the music does or has done, like that's a very fulfilling moment. You know what I'm saying? So it changes. Juicy Freestyle is really one of the most important ones. I think you're right there.
Now something just to add on, yabo. Now, when you talk about the things that you are talking about, I mean, like you ended with you know what I mean? Your music has literally been relatable. Like that's Touchline music, you know, relatability. And I mean, like right now you're at a different place in your career than you were at that time when you wrote the Juicy Freestyle and a couple of songs and whatever the case, you know. Konjo Ubani Drake, I think he mentioned he's so successful that he can't relate with people anymore.
Yeah, I'm so rich that my music is not relatable.
You know what I mean?
It's no longer relatable. Yeah.
Do you ever have fear towards that? You know, like, will I ever get to a place in my life, or I'm getting to a place in my life where, I'm comfortable. I'm still hungry. I'm still ambitious. I still have these big dreams. But, like, chances are I'm not experiencing life the way the average person would be experiencing it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, it's not much of a fear, but I do see changes in my life. And then I'm like, you know... Also, we must also remember, you know, and I think fans need to know this, like, psychologically, the come up is not like a kind thing. It's not a pretty thing. So once you get to, the come up, poverty, lacking, not having stuff, it's not a beautiful thing. So once you see the other side, you want to stay on the other side for as long as possible. And you don't want to entertain this into it's anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like mentally in faith, it's a battle. You feel me? I can imagine, like, the higher I go, how much further from the bottom I'll actually want to be. But I want to be able to stay in touch. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, in faith, life is life, dog. And there's a lot of things that I go through that a lot of people go through. Even man mustn't clock a million one day. I think there's going to be a lot of things that I still deal with, you know, a lot of things that are very normal to the average South African. I'm still going to be experiencing those things. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if it won't be financial at the time, it might be the mental challenges, or, you know, there's a lot that you can bring your fans into, you know, in terms of what's going on in Ngondweni Yakho. And I think you'll never run out of content, right? Yes, I might be telling you, oh, okay, cool, now I'm like living it up. I'm in Dubai now for 2 years, chilling, right? But it's going to be so much better because I was honest with the people when I didn't have anything. So maybe I'll be a better come-up story. But at the same time, I want to be able to know exactly what's happening, you know, so that I can reflect the thoughts and emotions of the country, you know, because I make music for those people, you know what I'm saying? That's why the content is always, like you said, relatable. It's always about what's really happening on the, on the ground. Yeah, well, so I don't want to lose that. I don't ever want to lose that. That's my brand identity at the end of the day. So I don't think I can lose it.
I hear you. Okay, let's go to Grab Your Moment and Respect or Die. And I'd like to attach those to now your industry take. You know what I mean? I hear you a lot, and that's my personal perspective on your raps, especially when you're going hard. Almost like not respect or die, don't try me type of thing, It's like there's something that's happening in the industry that you want to, let me not say fix, but like you're just sometimes unhappy about, you know what I mean? Do you feel like you're underrated? Do you feel like the industry recognizes you? And I'm not talking behind closed doors, you know what I mean? But out in public type of thing, but yeah, still the important entities, whether it's an entity or it's a a brand, whatever the case. Do you feel like you get the amount of recognition that I believe your brand is worth?
I don't think I'm underrated at all. I think when it comes to maybe the skill that I have, sure, people can say he's underrated because for the amount of talent that he has, he should be further. But I think I'm exactly where I should be, in a sense, Yoguti. If you look at the facts of everything, I've done very well for myself. You get what I'm saying? I've got a loyal fan base. I've escaped poverty, people bump the music. I'm well known. You get what I'm saying? And to a lot of people, I'm their favorite rapper in the world. You know what I'm saying? I can't be underrated. You get what I'm saying? I can't be underrated because some of the people that seem to have maybe more clout than me don't even do the numbers that I do. So I'm not underrated. I just have my own little space. You get me?
Yeah.
And I'm growing at my own pace. You know what I'm saying? And I'm enjoying it so much. So I don't think I'm underrated. Maybe recognition from the industry. What is recognition? They know me, right? So what more recognizing do I need from them? Do I need them to tell me, Witty, I'm dope? It's not them who I make the music for. You understand? So it the times of trying to get validation from other entities or even establishments. You can do anything you want to do in Virtu. You can outstream everybody, but if they want to decide, Wutsi, you don't get an award. For instance, KO didn't get an award at the Metros. Did he get any award?
I don't really watch award shows.
Yeah, I also missed that, so I'm not sure. But he had one of the greatest years in music. In fact, in his career and in South African music at large. If you ask KO what he'd rather have the big hit and the money than to have the awards but not really have the impact. You get me? So in the same way, what is it? What is recognition? You feel me? I think it's a matter of defining what recognition is. Recognition for me is the hundreds and thousands of people that are on my social media and some of them that are not even on social media that bump my music religiously. That's recognition.
All right, proper one, man. Thank you for the conversation, whatnot. So Muya in 2030 or 2025 with another batch of freestyles.
Are we done?
Not. What's your ending words?
Damn, man. Did you talk about my favorite freestyles, bro? Damn.
Which one do you want to talk about?
Nah, we spoke about it. We didn't go in depth.
Yeah.
But I think Respect or Die was very, very crucial. Also, very, 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 very dope freestyle. And one thing I found that was very interesting. Sometimes I'd rap in English, from start to finish, right?
Yeah.
And people would be like, "This guy reminds me of Pro." And I'm like, "How?" Right?
Sure.
It'll be the craziest thing ever. What do you mean I remind you of Pro? I just like did a whole verse in English. But I realized that the music is so relatable that people don't even realize that I'm not rapping in their home language.
Aha.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Also, I speak exactly like all of us. You feel me? So now, I would always ask myself, like, why on an English verse would people say, this guy reminds me of so and so, so and so, and then I learned. It's okay, cool. It's not the technicalities. It's like how you make people feel. Maybe the style of writing, etc., etc. So Respect to Die was one of the few songs that I did like in full English. There's no vernacular word in Respect to Die, and I only noticed that after I was done writing it, and I realized, damn, sometimes I really don't go vernac. You feel me? And then sometimes it goes vernac from the start. So I'm sure that's a question people have also asked themselves, like, where do I make the decision? Which language am I going to go to when I start rapping? And I realize it's all a feeling thing. Sometimes I think about it and I'm like, the last verse I did was in English. I want to do it in vernac now. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I express myself better in English. Sometimes I express myself better in vernac. It depends on the message. It depends on what it is I'm trying to get across. And sometimes I choose the target market. You feel me? Sometimes I rap for the Americans because they're the people that stream me the most after South Africa. So now I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna give them a whole lot of English, but I'll put like 20% vernac in there.
Right.
And they'll want to find out what's going on, but they understand the rest of the music. You understand, So shout out to all the people that side. But at the same time, man, it's like I'm so South African, don't I? Like Yonkinto, like I do it to represent like Langbuya Kona Pro. You feel me? And also I don't know any other way. If I'm finding a Uti, the keyboard dilao shakes
reality, nah?
Shakes and Shaka Zulu. Awards, like what am I gonna write about?
Shaka Zulu.
Why Ushaka Zulu?
Shaka Zulu.
Why?
Because Shakespear. Zulu.
That's fire. that's fire. Wow. Okay, cool. That's impressive.
Off the door, but you know how.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you.
But yeah. Actually, you were touching on a very interesting point that we didn't talk about better, which is
damn, that's crazy.
Elaborating.
Shakespeare. Shaga shakes, and the spear, which is it's like Then what is that? Is that the national weapon of the Zulus?
Yeah, I think so. Spear.
And you Zulu. You like let it simmer, man. Funny, you just dropped the ball of the year. Shout out. I think I'm gonna start mixing your music. You'll rap. I'll do the mixing.
Thanks a lot, Maji. Thanks a lot. I'm excited about this one. I hope people receive it proper. You know what I mean? There's a lot of strong messages, man, that come in your freestyles and whatnot. I pay Linyanga where I haven't played at least like 3 or 4. And I'm like, who am I to think, I'm the only person? Because, I work on your music type of thing. You know what I mean? But I listen to your music as much as another listener listens to them. And, when we go to shows and whatnot, when they talk to you, I hear them say the same things that I resonate with in your music type of thing. And I felt like it's going to be, a disservice to not compile it. Not everyone knows the titles of every freestyle and whatnot, and they would love to get it as a project. So hopefully people receive it as well as I enjoy listening to it too, and as well as, how you interpreted it and intended it to be received type of thing, what I mean? Can't wait. Touchline Timeless Freestyle Conversations. So, Booyah.